By the end of this lesson, you will be able to open up Roblox Studio, create a game, and navigate the controls and windows that are available to you for editing your game. Let's get started. So in order to open Roblox Studio, now that you have it downloaded on your computer and installed, you should find the icon that says Roblox Studio, and you can just double click on that. If you can't find it there, you can always go down to your start screen and then find it in your programs. So once it opens up, it should look something like this. And you should be signed into Roblox Studio with your account that you can sign in online as well. And it'll show up on the top right hand side of your screen. So right now you can see I'm signed in as Roblox Learner 3. If you need to change that, or if it's not showing up correctly, you can click log out or log in with whichever is available to you, and then log into your account through Roblox Studio. That way the Roblox Studio can be connected to your account. And when you're working online or working in Roblox Studio, they'll be connected. So in order to create a game, you'll want to select one of these game options that are available to you. And you can see we have different options like base plate, classic base plate. And then there are some other environments that are available to you. Again, these are very fun to start out with. And you can certainly explore the different terrains to get started and get some ideas for the games that you're creating. For this course, we will most likely be using the base plate, classic base plate, or flat terrain. And for this lesson, let's go ahead and open up a base plate option here. So I'm going to just click on it to open it up, and that will create your game. And so now you've got a game that you can manipulate and edit and create. So now that this is your first time opening up Roblox Studio, there are a couple things I want to point out to you for navigation, and that you want to make sure are in place so that you can follow along with each of the lessons. So the first thing you probably noticed is the middle of the screen, and that is the area which the game is being created, and that you can insert parts, insert objects, and build the game that you're creating. You'll notice if you click and drag in that, nothing happens. You have to right click in the game to move around it. There will be another lesson after this one that will show more in depth all the ways that you can move around the screen in the middle. So, and how you can zoom and all those kinds of things. But for now, let's keep exploring the different parts of what we see in front of us. And then on the right-hand side of the screen are two important parts, and that is the Explorer and then the Properties. So typically the properties will be blank like that. The reason they were showing something is because I had highlighted a part in the game. And so again, the way you can click things in the game is just left-clicking. And so we have this Explorer, and the Explorer is showing the different elements of the game in terms of like folders. Think of them like as folders on your computer. So the first option there is called Workspace, and that is actually what this center screen is too. That is the workspace. That is everything that will be used in your game. So you notice that you have this drop down arrow here, and again it expands more options. So once you can see, you've got the camera, and we'll be talking about each of these in detail later. The terrain, and right now there is no terrain except what's called a base plate, which you can put terrain on, things like water and grass and that kind of thing. We have a spawn location, that's where the player will enter the game. And then we have a base plate. So those are the elements that we have there, and then the workspace also has the players. Now there are other parts of the game that are important, and we'll cover in future lessons. But the one here, we have one on lighting. Again, when you click on these, there will be the properties will show up on the bottom, and then this is where you can manipulate more of the options of the lighting. So as we continue down, there are things like starter player, and we're going to be covering that later. Again, most of these we'll be covering later, but I just wanted to introduce you to Explorer and then Workspace and how it's arranged on the screen. Now, if for some reason your Explorer and Properties tab are not showing, the way you can find them is to go up to the top left and click on View. And then you'll see on the left-hand side, you have Explorer Properties. Right now they're gray, that means they're showing. If I click them, that will unselect them, so now you'll notice they went away. So I will click them and they'll come back. So if they're not there, go ahead and go to View and then click on Properties and Explore, and that'll bring them back. And it can happen that sometimes you accidentally click out of each of these screens, and so you want to make sure you can come back to them at any time. And so that's how you can find them. Okay, the other thing that's pretty important on this main screen is the bottom, and that is showing us the output. And you want to make sure that that is there. Again, you can X out each of these if you want. You can also rearrange this by dragging these around. And so if you want to change this, you can. I find that the default that they usually set works out well for me. And again, this is the output, and this will show you if there are any errors in your code, as well as any output that you have of your code, so that you can see what your code is doing. Then on the very bottom, there's a run a command. So you can run a line of code here on the bottom if you'd like. And we'll be getting into scripts later, of course. On the left-hand side right now, they have the toolbox there, and the way you can manipulate the left-hand side of the screen is click on Home and see Toolbox is highlighted. If I unclick that, that will remove Toolbox. And then we have Editor, and so I can click that, but you notice nothing happened. I'm going to click it again. So that brought the editor up. Now, if for some reason, both of these are gray and you're not seeing anything, you can go to the bottom left-hand side and you see Terrain Editor, and you can toggle between them, Toolbox and Terrain Editor. And so I can go back and forth. So the toolbox is very important because you're going to be able to access all kinds of things from Roblox.com. They start out by showing you models. And so if you click down that arrow, you can see the different options that are available to you. I can click on images. And so these are images that are available to you from Roblox. And again, you can search for images. Let's say I wanted to look for a sky. You just press in sky and then enter, and then it'll show the different skies that are available. Now you can, of course, access audio, videos, and plugins. Again, Toolbox is going to be used quite a bit throughout this course. Then you want to notice that in Toolbox you have a couple of these options here, and this one is Inventory. And the inventory are the things that you have created and saved to your Roblox account. That's why it's important to be logged into your account when you're using Roblox Studio, so that they can communicate and they can save and sync together. So I've got models, and I've got one model in here, and then I think I have a couple images. And I will show you how to upload each of these things so that you can customize your game to make it more unique of an experience for people who are playing it.